The repressed returns. Always. Always. The universe is constructed in such a way, and the human psyche and the biosocial nature of the human being is no different. There are laws in this universe, clearly. You can test them and feel them with your own experience. And the law of equivalent exchange, the law of reciprocity is in effect in the human psyche, and therefore the repressed content, whatever it may be, will return. It will return. Repression is the often unconscious bottling up of experiences, emotions, feelings, thoughts, and sensations. And when you repress something, you may be able to get very clever, you may be able to get very intellectual about how you avoid feeling it or avoid seeing it or avoid its appearance, but you cannot escape. You cannot escape. Carl Jung, a great sage, rest in power, he said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you'll call it fate. This is what I've been experiencing here in this work. Doing bioenergetics, trauma release, deep meditation, communication, expression, sound healing, all of these things, sacred, ancient technologies, ancient ritual technologies that touch deep parts in the human being, deep parts in the body, deep parts in the tissues, the lower recesses of the psyche, the cupboard where I've crammed all the things I didn't want, all the things I couldn't face. They were too overwhelming. It's not that I chose to get rid of all of them. It's that sometimes you can't face them at the time, and it's okay. This isn't about right or wrong. This is about repression and the madness that we see out in the world. The madness with the tariffs in China, the madness with this airstrike on Syria, all this fear and separation. It's stemming not from the fact that we haven't figured out the right political system, or we haven't figured out the right religion, or converted the right number of people economically or socially. It is a madness that comes from a loss of contact with repressed materials in the psyche, repressed feelings and emotions that have been passed down through family lines, repressed things that happened when you were between the ages of 1 and 7 years old. From when you were born, you were very vulnerable. You were a receiver, and the repressed content will return. And so you have a choice. You can allow it to express in your life and ritually reenact unconscious traumas on yourself and others and suffer greatly. And suffer greatly. I have suffered greatly in this way, emotionally and psychologically, and even sometimes physically. Or through the conscious use of ancient technologies such as breath work, such as yoga, meditation, psychotherapy, depth analysis, through dance, through song, through plant medicine. There are many ways that you can access and touch these materials, touch the repressed things that only want to be felt, they only want to be loved. However, you need a ritual elder, you need a safe container to express these unconscious contents in a non-violent way. They can be expressed violently through the body, but you are not harming someone. You're not going to war with someone. You're not speaking ill of someone. You're not killing someone. You're expressing the things that need to be expressed so you can feel again. So you can feel. There's nothing wrong with rage. There's nothing wrong with despair or sorrow. There's nothing wrong with frustration, irritation. All of the negative, the so-called negative feelings and affects and emotions that have been demonized since the Enlightenment, since the rationality and modernity has come into consciousness, especially in the West and then spread globally. This is not about right and wrong. This is about being a human being and being a whole being, a loving being. being a powerful sovereign being who's in touch with his complete self and has not split himself or herself apart. And so this is my prayer, my message with you. Please like, share, comment on this video if you're resonating, if you can feel what I'm talking about. And if you don't feel what I'm talking about, ask questions. This is very deep stuff that is echoing in the world right now. It's echoing. We're calling for healing. The root word of healing is whole. We seek to be whole, to remember, to bring our members, our parts back together, to unite them so we can have peace, so we can feel this inner love, which is our nature. Plants, animals, children, they express it fully. They express the Tao, they express God's love, they express the universal architecture. However, as adults, we become too clever. I found this week how clever I've become in avoiding feeling the pain and the rage and the suffering that were locked inside my unconscious and subconscious mind and body and heart. And the repressed will return. So this is my invitation to you. Find out what it is. Feel it. Sense where the energy is in your body. What triggers you? The triggers are the guides. Follow the triggers. Follow what triggers you. It's touching something deep inside of you. Follow synchronicity. Coincidence is just left over from a bad theory about reality. Coincidence is not meaningless. Follow synchronicity. Follow the signs in your life, the omens in your life. This is nothing ultra spiritual. This is grounded in evolution and adaptation of the human organism on this planet. The repressed will return. I invite you to choose to feel it fully and allow it to express. Allow it to express in a healthy way. We must recreate in America, in the West, I believe, the rites of passage, the initiation of tribal elders and the technologies of facing the shadow and your dragons head on without fear, without the mental fear. The body fear can be there, but we have to face the collective shadow, and that's what's happening. That's what Donald Trump is doing. That's what Me Too is about. That's what this Syria incident is about. All of this stuff is showing us things we haven't felt or seen, and therefore as a tribe, as a collective, a clan, a people who are not separate, though we speak different languages and come from different countries and lands, we're all the same type of organism and creature and being. And therefore, the more we can face these things, the repressed content of the whole history of our species, with an open heart and with the spirit of a guardian, and go fully towards it, using these technologies, this is how we will heal. And this is how we will fully feel again.